So I had a rough weekend and I just want to unwind with you for a moment and go over like a couple reminders, affirmations, basically just to settle the mind. Also, I think this may be the last time we ever use this deck of affirmation cards, but good news, the one we are designing ourselves, which will be reminders in hindsight, the ones we are designing ourselves are done. So look out for those very soon. I believe y'all are gonna love it. So we're gonna get into a few cards, but before we do that, let's get into our sponsor. So I've been using Seed for about 8 months now, and it's definitely become a part of my daily routine. The branding is immaculate, all the way to their website and Seed University, which is a learning-based program on their Instagram account that I found to be quite enjoyable. It's a daily symbiotic, a formulation that combines probiotic and prebiotics. It's vegan, gluten-free, and includes 24 clinically studied, naturally occurring strains. Ones not found in your fermented foods, yogurts, or beverages, and this lives up to the highest standards for human and planetary health. Now, these aren't no ordinary capsules. They're quite beautiful. Look at the green. Now, most probiotics don't actually make it to your gut, so Seed's Daily Symbiotics delivers it to where it matters most, straight to your colon. The 2-in-1 via cap delivery technology, capsule and capsule, protects against stomach acid, digestive enzymes, and bowel salts for viability through digestion. And what I love most is how they are sustainably delivered monthly. That's why every component of Seed's sustainable refill system is designed to protect your daily symbiotics and be gentler to the earth. So I want you to check it out if you're interested. This is one of my favorite brands. You get 15% off your first month's supply of Seed's Daily Symbiotics by using code HINDZ15 at checkout. Click the link in the description below to get started. So let's get into these cards. This is a very chill, calm day because let's be honest, we need it. Now you know the rules. You're gonna pick a card. Pick the best cards because again, this is the last time we're using this deck as we will be moving on to my own deck that we created. Which one? I feel like someone's going for that one. I understand that my true purpose is to give and receive love. As you understand your true nature and your true purpose, your life will be permanently transformed and then you can begin to change the world. I love it. This is a good card because I've actually been meditating on the word love a lot lately. And I've noticed like in society, we use love and it's starting to feel meaningless. Like, what is love? And I realize love requires honesty, right? Affirmations are amazing, but affirmations also need to be rooted in truth. You understand? What I'm starting to notice in society is like nobody wants to seem like a hater, Nobody wants to disagree with anybody. So we just affirm each other. And there's actually people who are partaking in lots of toxic behavior and instead they just affirm their toxic behavior to one another. But if your friend was going down a slippery slope or, abusing themselves somehow and you didn't call them out and be honest, is that love? If you affirm to them and just said, hey, just do everything you want to do, although their actions, you understand, are leading them down into a depression or possibly hurting themselves, that affirmation would be pointless, it would be meaningless, you understand? So love requires truth. Love requires honesty. Affirmations require truth as well. When we use affirmations, they need to be rooted in truth. To be real with ourselves, to make the change that we want to see in the world, we first have to make it within ourselves, but we can't do that if we're not honest, right? We can't justify all our actions and say, well, I'm just living my best life. You understand? Discipline is required. Limitations are good at times. Like everything we feel, everything we think doesn't mean we have to go and do it. You understand? Sometimes we need to choose the more righteous road. Oh, I'm not gonna stay out late and do all those drinkings and all those smokings, and instead I'm gonna nurture myself and nurture my body and, you understand? Study a good word. Truth and love requires honesty. And to be able to transform ourselves, we need to be able to be true with ourselves. And then we have the spirit of truth, and we can change the world. You understand? I remember I was watching, I think it was a J. Cole video, and I might have mentioned this before, but there was a point where his friends called him out because all he was doing was partying. This is before he blew up. And he was partying lots, and he was living his best. He's just dating tons of girls, and they're like, what are you doing? Like, you have a dream and you're distracted. That is love. If his boys just celebrated him and, clapped his hands with all the girls he was dating and invited him out more and more to parties and drinking, would that be love? No. They would be affirming his toxic behavior. So really meditate on that, you understand? Love requires truth. Love requires honesty. Pick another card. Okay, let's see what this one. I am becoming wiser each day, especially for telling the truth. Wisdom is achieved slowly and is the active expression of knowledge in your everyday life. Loving service is the highest wisdom. I love this card because you can't hack wisdom, right? It's true. Wisdom is something we generate over time with patience. I believe all wisdom is God-given. Knowledge is one thing. We could read books, we can study, and we can develop more logic and knowledge. But I believe true wisdom and understanding is God-given, and that takes patience. That takes discipline. You understand? That takes being able to observe, not always reacting, but responding, and understanding that there is so many things that we don't understand. Not always leaning on our own understanding, but realizing there is a higher understanding. And through meditation and prayer, patience, and leading a quiet life, those answers, that understanding will come to you. And you will be able to walk in light, you understand? To me, wisdom is better than money, right? Wisdom brings you peace. It brings you comfort. But most importantly, wisdom also brings others peace and others comfort, right? People can come to you and they know that you are our trusted source, somebody with a sound mind, with sound advice, rooted in truth, because wisdom is rooted in truth. You understand? I feel like 2021 and 2020 for me was really about, comfort of the spirit and, making it through all that we were going through, because let's be honest, the last 2 years were crazy. But now it's really about the spirit of truth. You understand? That is wisdom, and it's God-given. And if you care about the truth, you will have the power and the ability to speak the truth, to be honest with yourselves and the ones around you. I have been working so hard on just not lying at all. Like, not even remotely tiny little lies. Like, if you're about to be 10 minutes late and you're like, oh, there was traffic. Like, not even tiny little lies, because I'm like, no, I want to continue to cultivate the spirit of truth, because I feel like, especially in this world, we need more people who care about the truth, who can tell the truth, but most importantly, can offer the truth, you understand, with grace, with patience, and we can take care of one another. So, wisdom is more important than money, but hey, we live in this material world, so we got to get it to work. Working is good. Working is actually good. I know there's like a big trend online of, people say like, oh, we shouldn't be working, and, all of this is fake, and, I don't dream of labor, but to be honest, like, we got to do something with our hands, right? We have to be of service. So try to find something you like, try to find something you love, but know it takes a while till you can, build a profession off of what you love. But in the meantime, everything that you're doing is leading towards that. And, I believe working and, doing your best and challenging yourself is very important, very important. I'll never fully retire, I just won't. One more card and then we're gonna close it off. I already feel a little bit better. I didn't want to do a video today that was like too many edits and like I didn't want to think too much about it. I just wanted it to be really raw and natural. One more card. We're going right in the middle because I could feel you. You were looking at that one. You were pointing at that one. I was like, all right. We're going to go for that one. My intuitive senses are opening more and more each and every day. Let's say that again. My intuition, my intuitive senses are opening more and more each and every day. Trust your intuitive wisdom. If your mind is closed, how can you learn anything new? I love this card, but I feel like we need to break it down because sometimes we have a hard time discerning between our intuition, our mind, and our heart, right? That's why I believe meditation and prayer is very important, to seek and ask for those answers, to discern, because sometimes we may be feeling something, but that's not the right thing, right? Our feelings aren't always fact. It actually requires discernment, right? Like think about all the thoughts we have in our mind on a daily basis. We have good thoughts, we have crazy thoughts. Like you ever sit in there and then a thought comes in your mind, you're like, oh my God, like why am I thinking of that, right? So everything that we feel, everything that we think isn't actually us, right? That's why we have to be very careful and we have to observe, right? We have a spirit and we have flesh, and our flesh is always wants to desire something, right? It wants comfort. It wants to eat this. It wants that person. It's greedy. It wants all these things. But our spirit, right, has discernment and shows us, okay, what is the path for us? And it takes, to me, it takes leading a quieter life, right? Silencing all the noise so we have that ability to listen, observe, and respond. And being open, right? I always talk about listening to diversity of thought. Listen to other people's opinions, even if they contradict your own, because two things can happen. One, they can affirm your beliefs even more because you may be like, well, I totally disagree with you. So now I even believe what I believe in even more. Or their opinion will open yours up to new possibilities and things that you weren't fully aware of. But we need to test the spirits. We need to test every thought, you understand? Because everything that we think, everything that we feel isn't fact. And over time, we develop discernment and we know when to trust our intuition. Yikes, I'm getting a call. Hello?
Dental calling. Credit card. I realize we had
Oh, okay.
yeah, so all right, thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye for now.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm doing a whole thing on like Invisalign right now, so I don't have it in right now, but they're like, yo, we need your credit card. Yo, it's not cheap. I don't even want to talk about the teeth stuff right now. I'll say that for another video. I had like some breathing problems, getting like some spacing done in my mouth. Just, it's a whole thing. But back to this. Over time, we will develop that discernment, you understand? Do not worry, you will be able to tell the difference between your heart, mind, and spirit, because sometimes they're saying so many different things. Like, you ever been in love with someone or think you're in love with somebody and like, you know, your heart is saying one thing and then your mind is saying a million things and then your gut is like, you think it's saying something, but you can't feel it. And that's just a lack of discernment, right? And that's okay because we grow in our spiritual maturity over time if we are doing the work, understand, and seeking the grace. So intuitive wisdom, don't worry if you feel like sometimes you struggle with knowing what is true, what is right for you. Just meditate is good, pray, meditation and prayer together, boom. Ask, right? I ask for wisdom. Like I ask God for wisdom. I say, God, give me the understanding and the wisdom that I need through this next season. Allow me to understand things through your viewpoint and not just my own way, you understand? Allow me to lean on your understanding and not just my own, because I know that my flesh, this will lead me astray. This will be want to eat a bunch of cookies, you know, like when I was young, I'm not, no lie. When I was young, I was like, I'm just gonna live a life where I have like, you know, like 5 different wives in different countries. Like, that's the flesh, right? But my spirit's like, no, one woman, HINDZ. That's the best thing for you. So discernment, wisdom, patience, gratitude, all these things are our inner treasures, right? That's the richness in life, our spirit. And I think everything else comes after that. It's a beautiful thing when you come into your blessings, when you step into a position and you have that foundation. Imagine, let's say you are an influencer or a musician and you become famous too fast, and you have like no moral, spiritual foundation for yourself, and everything people say, it affects you. You understand? You don't have the discernment to guide yourself through tricky situations, so you're constantly in a battle between your heart, mind, and spirit. That's why I say you don't want nothing before it's time. Like, we always be in a rush because we're watching so many people online, but trust the timeline. You understand? Trust the timeline. Everything is gonna be all right. You don't know in hindsight, everything is gonna be all right. We power by Cha, and thank you for chilling with me. I feel like I needed your presence more today because, again, I had a rough weekend. It was just difficult, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just be life, you know, this thing called life. But the beautiful thing is we're truly in it together, and I love that. So thank you.